Hey, I'm Elise Neal. Don't you move because Profiles is coming right up, so you better stay tuned.
Welcome to Profiles. I'm Marley Hall. Today's guest is actress Elise Neal, who has remained busy in film and on television for the last 20 years. Elise has produced award-winning performances for her work in the film Hustle and Flow and for her 5-year role as Yvonne Hughley in the hit television series The Hughleys. Along the way, she's appeared in over 200 TV commercials. After a short break, we'll join our host Mickey Burns as he welcomes the beautiful Elise Neal to Profiles. Welcome back to Profiles. Elise Neal began her career in show business as a dancer, landing roles in musical theater, and she found herself traveling the world with various touring companies. She would eventually make the transition into acting when she landed the role of Janice Sinclair on the ABC soap opera Loving. So let's join our host Mickey Burns on location from the Hotel Wales on the Upper East Side of Manhattan as he welcomes the talented Elise Neal to Profiles.
What woman wouldn't want her husband spending all his time in a house full of hoes?
I was looking for rosewood.
Thanks.
By the way, when you just pressed up against me, sweetheart, you ain't no Chris. Ciao.
The beautiful Elise Neal, welcome to our show Profiles.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, our viewers will certainly recognize you as a hardworking actress and for your work in such films as Hustle and Flow, the horror classic Scream 2, which you were great in, and my favorite, Mission to Mars. I know it's not yours, but it was one of my favorite movies. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Welcome back to New York.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I lived here for quite a while before I started acting.
And when you were doing dancing on Broadway.
When I was dancing on the great Broadway stage, yes.
And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to talk about your latest role, which is in a film titled Love Ranch, which chronicles the first legalized house of prostitution in Nevada in 1976, which was also known back then as the Mustang Ranch.
I wanted to be in this movie a lot. Okay? Basically, a lot of people at this time when Love Ranch was being cast, everybody knew about this. Okay?
Did they?
Yeah, because it's a fun read, you know. So the script was floating around, and people were getting really buzzed about it. And for me, it was an opportunity to audition for something that wasn't the girlfriend or the wife, which I play a lot of. And, you know, that's not the only layer of acting that I can do.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, I just kind of really had a great time auditioning and said, you know what, this would be great if I get. So I just kind of let loose at all of the auditions I had to go through.
Right.
And, you know, landed in my lap, which I'm so happy about.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Love Ranch also stars the great Joe Pesci and the great Helen Mirren, the Queen.
Yes.
What was it like working with those two?
Well, let's start with Joe, because, you know, a lot of people hadn't seen him in so long. So I think we had the premiere in L.A. recently, and he came on screen, and people just like started clapping. He hadn't even said anything yet. You know, it was just like cool to work with him.
So good.
Oh my God, he's so awesome. And, you know, I think a lot of people have their own idea of him and don't know him individually. But for us, it was a treat.
A treat.
We got to work with him every day, and every Sunday we had jam sessions at his place. Like he would say, yeah, come over, and we would cook, you know, jam out on the guitar. And we had Taryn Manning in this movie who also sings.
Sure.
So, of course, for me, we would get up and sing songs with him. I mean, that was the best time.
What a thrill.
It was a thrill.
What a thrill.
But also, Helen was just awesome. You know,
she
was amazing. And to see her work with Taylor, who's her husband.
That's the director.
That's the director.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Taylor Hackford directed
right.
Ray, Officer and a Gentleman. You know, he's been in the business a long time.
Right.
But to see them as a married couple work together was hilarious.
Was
actually.
it?
Yeah, because she'd be, oh, Taylor, let's just move on. Okay, we've got it. Move on, please. You know, with her little accent. She
never
was
thought
so
of it that
cute.
way. When you have husband and wife, it could be tough sometimes.
No, but they were very cute together.
They were.
And, you know, I applaud him for some of the sexy scenes that he shot. Like I said, I mean, I told Taylor, I was like, man, you kind of captured a lot of stuff there. Were you okay with that?
What was it? And what he said?
And he said, yeah. He's like, he had no problem with it.
He was okay. Oh, boy. Let's just backtrack a little bit for those viewers out there that don't know your background.
Sure.
But you are from a native of Memphis, Tennessee, and in high school you were, I'm not surprised, a cheerleader and homecoming queen. Surprise, surprise.
I was not the homecoming queen. I was the queen of the school.
Oh, well, I'm not
Bigger than the homecoming queen now. I was the rebel queen, which is actually the queen of my high school.
Yes.
Yeah. Which actually I was the first African-American queen that they had back then.
So you're breaking barriers.
So I was breaking barriers,
All
even
right.
in high school.
Now, from there, you attended the University of Arts in Philadelphia.
I did.
But you dropped out after 2 years.
I did.
I read that.
Yeah.
To work at a show in Caesars in Atlantic City. What kind of show was it that you dropped out of school for?
First of all, I dropped out of school. Parents were upset.
I bet. A little bit, huh?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I actually thought of it this way. It was something that I'd been doing since I was 6 years old. I was singing, dancing since I was 6 years old.
That's where your passion was.
You know, for me, I was just following my heart, you know, and this opportunity came in my lap, and I thought, you know, Atlantic City at the time was trying to go in a different direction and have some more kid-friendly shows. So I was like, wow, this would be cool if this takes off. So I'm just going to go for it, you know.
And that was the start. That was
the start of my performing career.
You got your taste.
Yeah.
Now, from there, you after the show ended, you moved to Brooklyn. You're a Brooklyn gal for a while.
A little bit.
and you lived there to follow your dream of dancing on Broadway.
I did.
How did that work out for you?
Well, you know, that was when I encountered roommates. You know, you got to have like 3 or 4 roommates
to survive.
To survive when you first starting out in New York, you know.
Yeah.
So I had 3 other roommates that were also performers that I lived with, dancers that I lived with in Brooklyn. Yeah. And you know, I just learned to share a little bit. I guess you know, I'm the youngest, so I didn't know a lot about sharing, but I did learn to share a little bit.
And how long did it take you before you started achieving your dream?
Not too long. I think maybe in like 6 months I was doing my first tour. My first one was, I used to work a lot with Mercedes Ellington and with Maurice Hines a lot.
Yeah, he
you know,
does
who
a lot
was
of tap.
awesome.
And,
so I got to, you know, tap my way through Amsterdam and Germany with some of the greats. You know, I think it helped me just be a better performer and a better person. I know a lot of different cultures, and I'm not closed-minded about a lot of things that I think I was as a girl growing up in Memphis and would still be. So I really enjoyed it and got rid of my accent a little bit along the way.
Still have it.
I do. But just imagine how bad it was in the beginning.
In the 90s, you appeared in numerous music videos for such artists as Aretha Franklin, Vanessa Williams, Chubb Rock, and the list goes on and on. How did working in all of these great music videos enhance your career?
It was just fun. That was when, you know, music was evolving and hip-hop was getting a name.
And the videos were big.
And the videos were bigger budgets.
Huge.
And, you know, we would rehearse for a week for a music video, and they would have the best choreographer that they could hire. And, you know, it would be intricate steps and hair and makeup. But now it's just, okay, $20, you'll be on MTV. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? Because I can get 15 other girls that want to do it. Yeah. That's what it is now. And I think that's sad because it was a way for dancers to kind of get out there and, you know, make a little money and a job and show a little bit of themselves without it being just about shaking their booty. You know?
Now, in a recent article, this is what you said. You said the journey was weird for me because I didn't want to act. I just wanted to dance, sing, and be on stage. How then did your acting career get started?
I think it just fell in my lap, really. I think, you know, I'm one of those people who have learned to just go with the flow of my life. And I was doing a lot of, like you said, the music videos here in New York. I was doing a lot of commercials here in New York. I've done over like 200 commercials. Wow. You know, I just had that commercial face, you know. So especially in the 90s, there were a lot of dance commercials, and that's how it got started. So I was doing like a lot of dancing for Shield and, you know, fresh all day, you know, and just kind of like having enough movement and personality.
What was your biggest commercial?
The biggest commercials were actually when I moved from here and I moved to LA. And that one was for Nike.
Okay.
We did about 15 of those spots. And then from there, the same director, who's a pretty big director, Joe Pitka, basically said, hey, do you want to do these other Nike spots? Because he liked me.
Right.
And those were with, at the time, they were all like just coming into the league. And it was Chris Webber. And who else was in it? Dennis Rodman. And I did like 20 of those spots.
Wow.
So, you know, I think it was just one of those things that, you know, just kind of fell in my lap. And so I didn't know a lot about on camera. So I took an on-camera course to be like, what is this? You know, let me try to figure it out if I'm going to start booking this type of stuff. And I fell in love with the process. I used to work at the Gene Frankel Institute here in New York a lot. So I kind of knew a little bit of something about theater and all that stuff. So when I was out in LA and the commercials were still coming, I was like, maybe I'll try it, you know, see what happens with the acting. 6 months later, I got a soap opera.
Yes.
Had to move back to New York.
And that was Loving.
That was Loving. It's off the air now. But I did 7 months of Loving.
But that was huge.
It was fun. Yeah, that was fun. I like doing soap opera. I would do one again. It was fun.